And live now. So, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling, and we are talking today about G1 Climax. We are doing our live stream here for what I'll call our tier list for the New Japan's G1 Climax 32. So, the way this works is I don't know if you've ever seen a tier list before, but a tier list is basically where you rank different things from a particular property, and you rank them in order from best to worst. S tier being the top, and the lower tiers being something else. Something else. And I'm looking. I'm probably gonna do a lot of this on my own, but I'm looking to include you guys in on this as I'm getting everything set up here and making sure everything's running correctly. And it seems like we're good to go now. So, yeah, I definitely want your input, or those of you who are in the chat. Scotty Boy, good to see you again today. And yeah, let's get into it now. We're going to start with some of the blocks, but there is some other stuff that's been going on lately, which is really interesting. I did look the other day at the press conference for the G1 Climax post press conference that Okada did, and it's true to story. He held true to what I was thinking about with the whole story about him and JONAH. So Okada did say that he still has this kind of idea that the G1 holders should be in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom regardless, but he doesn't particularly think he should be defending the contract. And then he said, well, JONAH, he has a right to want to get a receipt or whatever because he beat me in the tournament. And if anybody wants to face me, that's fine without the contract on the line. I really hope. I don't know if Jonas watches my videos or somebody told him or they have the idea already. But I hope the idea comes to him to say that Okada is ducking him because Okada knows that if he faces JONAH in October or November, he's going to lose that match. He's going to lose the contract, and that's why Okada is trying to change things up on him. So that's the way it is. Hello, Renee. Good to see you there. Ospreay had to be MVP. Yoshi-hashi has to be there too. What a tournament for him. And we're saying S for Ospreay. So let's go in order here. Let's get this started off here. So we're going to look at first let's look at the D block first. So first up we got good old Yujiro Takahashi. What's going on? Shut your mouth. I so want to put Yujiro. Look, I'm gonna put it to you this way. I'm putting Yujiro in S tier. You guys, and I'm gonna give like about a minute or so for you guys to vote on this if you want. But for Yujiro Takahashi, he probably did the best that he's done in most of these G1s. He wound up with 3 wins, 6 points. All of those wins have nothing to do with him, have everything to do with Dick Togo, have everything to do with Show, everything to do with a wrench and a house of torture and their BS. So I mean, his 6 points, he really didn't deserve any of them. So my thought is S tier for Yujiro. Let's see what you guys say here. Good Lucas Thing, how you doing? RP Jesus 316. Yujiro proved he is the ace of the house of torture. So if you guys think Yujiro should be anywhere else, I mean, you can. In a way this will work, you can put S, A, B, C, D, E, F in there. He did lead. Yes, Scotty Boy's right. He did lead the D block for a particular point in time. I wonder if I can shrink this down because you guys' chat stuff I can't really see too well with that background. There we go. Let's shrink this up a little bit. I am using, by the way, Adobe's tier block here to show the tiers, so that's a little bit better. Now I can see what you guys are writing without the crazy background on them. So I'm good. Let's see what you guys saying here. S tier, low end C because of his wins. Maybe E because she finished ahead of Juice. I would put him in D. Ospreay and Yujiro match was a banger though. Yeah, it was okay. I mean compared to the other bangers, yeah. So it looks like Scotty Boy said B. B tier for Yujiro solely based on his performance. Okay. I'll put Yujiro on. It seems like most of it's for the B, so we're going to put Yujiro up here. Yujiro Takahashi, I would have put him in F. I would have put him in F tier, but we're going to put Yujiro in B tier. All right, next up is Yoshi-hashi. Yoshi-hashi, One of the guys that was real standout this year, and we say this every year with Yoshi-Hashi, is this going to be the year that Yoshi-Hashi is going to come through? Is this going to be the year that he's going to step up? And as far as points-wise, he was nowhere near the finals or the semifinals or anything like that, but he had some of the better matches in the G1 this year. Some of the great matches he had were absolutely outstanding. He fought his butt off on most of his matches, so I can't take away from Yoshi-Hashi. And I've clowned Yoshi-Hashi for years since I started the old Rassslin Rantin channel. But I would say, God, if you guys, he's got to be at least in B tier with Yujiro. He's got to be at least in B tier Yujiro. I have to think that. But let's see what you guys are saying. Huge for S tier. Liquid Snake says C. I remember when Yujiro defeated Bushi. Yoshi is at least A. The Shingo match was amazing. He had a fantastic G1. A or S for his performance. B, A, S tier. So it looks like it's between S and A. I'm not. Here's the thing about S tiers though. It's kind of a little bit unfair because I'm going to consider if you were at least close to winning the block or you won the block as being S tier. So that kind of limits it to the 4 guys, maybe 6 if you can think of the guys that were on the cusp of it. But let's say I think A. I like A. We'll do A. We'll do A for Yujiro. Or not Yujiro. Yoshi-Hashi. Yoshi-Hashi definitely deserves to be above Yujiro. Absolutely. The man right here, Shingo Takagi. And this is one of the guys I'm thinking he could be S tier. He could be A tier. Shingo, although I will say match-wise, outside of the Ospreay match, I can't think of too many other matches Shingo had in the tournament that are like really memorable and stand out. Like, not again. Yoshi-Hashi was okay. Yujiro was okay. Some of the other ones. The David Finlay match was pretty good. I don't know. So let me see. As far as Yujiro now, what are you guys thinking? Marcus Brown saying B or A. Good Lucas thing was a bit disappointed. Put him in C. Let's see. Shingo versus ELP was. That's right. Shingo versus ELP was good. Let's see. Shingo high A. C. I see a lot of C's for Shingo. RP puts Shingo at S. A for Shingo is 6. Wow. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to split the difference. I guess we're gonna put. This is kind of crazy. We're gonna put Shingo at B. I'm gonna split the difference of what all you guys are saying, which is kind of. That's why I kind of think Yujiro should be a lot lower. But Shingo Takagi, we're gonna put him in the B tier. I'm splitting the difference between a lot of A's and B's, and a couple of S's, but I'm gonna put him there. Oh boy. I think this one's kind of obvious. Will Ospreay. Damn. Damn, dog. And a G1 that did not have as many match of the years as we usually used to because of the block format. Will against putting over David Finlay. Great match. Match with Shingo. Match of the year contender. Match with Naito in the semifinals and the playoffs. Match of the year contender. And the finals with Okada. Absolutely match of the year contender. Will Ospreay, he's on one of those Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair kind of years, Kenny Omega kind of years where this dude is just cranking out like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 match of the years in 1 year. I'm going to say Ospreay's S. It looks like, no brainer. Everybody's saying S tier for Ospreay. It's not even a question. Billy Goat up there in S tier. The G1 this year. And probably on the other side of the spectrum. Juice Robinson, my God. Juice, what happened, man? What happened? Juice, I know you, Juice he's not on social media anymore, so he's never going to see this, but man, Juice, I know you were kind of thinking that the Western fans didn't like you. I know that's gotten out there. People have said that, and he's been very conscious and suspicious of the way people perceive him, but I kind of dug the new look, and I was going to give it a chance in Bullet Club, and it was like 50-50. Some of the stuff Juice did, I did not. The Phantasmo match, I did not like that at all. Not at all. None of it. It just, I tried to like it. It didn't work for me. Outside of the match for Ospreay, again, another one for Ospreay, and the David Finlay match, which was great. Those are the two best things that Juice did. Everything else, I was kind of like, man, I'm expecting a lot more out of you, man. So what are you guys saying here? Juice is C or D, says Paulo. Character for character A, for wrestling C. I enjoy Juice. D, disappointment. D tier. C, D, or E. Looks like Juice, most of it's D. Poor Juice. I feel bad for Dylan. I feel bad. Juice Robinson's in D tier. Oh man, Juice, come on, man. You got it, man. You could have had it here. All right, next guy up. A guy I was pretty high on. I don't know where I got that picture from. By the way, I don't know what he's doing in this picture. El Phantasmo, the heir apparent, the Kenny Omega in the Kenny Omega bootleg version. I shouldn't call him that. But there's a lot of Kenny in El Phantasmo. There's a lot of X-Pac in El Phantasmo. There's a lot of Edge in El Phantasmo. There's a lot of different wrestlers mashed up in the character we know as El Phantasmo. A lot of people complain about him. These complaints are the same complaints people made about Kenny Omega 6 years ago, that he was too jokey, too much ha-ha. The guy's got talent, but he wasted. And the G1, outside of the Juice Robinson match, El Phantasmo has some bangers. The finish that Will Ospreay match where he, for that split-second, complained to the ref, and then Ospreay just clobbered him with that elbow. That was a great match. The Shingo match was great, and the final night, and him taking Shingo out, which is going to lead to a feud. And, of course, he announced to Desperado that he will goodbye Desperado forever, because Phantasmo is now officially a heavyweight. I think New Japan's got big plans for El Phantasmo. And as I said, I was at the Forbidden Door show, and in that six-man he had against Shingo and Sting and Darby, there were people around me in the crowd saying, who is this guy? I like this guy, you know. So Phantasmo, he's got a lot of potential. So we'll see what you guys are saying here. Let's see. I got to scroll up a little bit because you guys have said a lot. Phantasmo, C tier, started D, ended B, C. EOP is B or A, B. G1, he was solid, says Morris Brown. Giant Sequoia says C. Low and A. By God, these are all over the place. I think we're going to A tier, but only by hair. This dude is entertaining. B, A, B, A. Okay, so I guess I have a hard time putting him over Shingo, though. I mean, we're going to do B for, because that Juice Robinson match knocks him down for me. I'm going to take you guys' suggestions. I'm going to put El Phantasmo, he's going to be B tier. For that, because I think that I can't get, for me, the Juice match, I can't get over the Juice match. That it just didn't work for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. David Finlay, this is a guy that's going to be tough because, yeah, he led the block for one point in time, but then again, so did Udro. But David Finlay, back-to-back wins, big wins. Really stepping it up. The Juice match was fantastic. The match with Shingo was fantastic. And the match with Will Ospreay was fantastic. And he won all three of them. And then faltered in the end due to some chicanery, some shenanigans. So for me, David Finlay is either S tier or A tier just for his performance in here. Texas McKee. Yes, that is Yujiro and B. Look, they voted on it. I said I was going to include the chat's vote. They were saying that that Yujiro should have gotten up there because of just where he landed at. So, yeah, Yujiro wound up in B. A for Finlay, very solid. Finlay A. Looks like A's, a couple B's, mostly A's. So, David Finlay, you have arrived, my friend. Dad's going to be proud of you. David Finlay is in the A tier. So, that concludes the D block. So, as expected, we got Will Ospreay in the S tier. We've got Yoshi-Hashi and David Finlay, who were the big standouts in the tournament this year. In the A tier, we got B tier with Yujiro Takahashi. You guys voted that, not me. I was going to put him in F. Shingo Takagi and El Phantasmo. And sorry, Juice, you're in D tier. Let's move on to the C block. Oh my God, poor guy here. Tomohiro Ishii. Ishii's just, he had a rough year, man. He had a rough year. Won 2 matches. He won the last match on the last night, which was an inconsequential match anyway. Banger performances. Russ did not wrestle a bad match, but didn't win much of anything. He was the one blemish on Tama Tonga's record, and just faltered down the road. There's a lot of conjecture from the English broadcast team that this might be Ishii's last year in the G1. He is getting up there in age, and his body's pretty banged up. Me personally, I would put Ishii in the C tier, just out of respect. But let's see what you guys are thinking here. Let's see. Let's get back here. Finlay. All right, Yujiro, Ishii. Ishii's B. Ishii B. Oh yeah, that's right. That's my bad. Ishii was in B block. He was in the C block. He was in B block. We're going out of order, but we'll do him now. I'm sorry. He was in B. He was in B block. He wasn't in the C block. Sorry. Juice not B ranking. I don't know. B. D tier for Juice. B great matches. C E C. So it looks like Ishii's going to be in C tier. So our first C tier guy is going to be the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. From out of the B block. I put that guy. I put him in the wrong block. I wonder who I put in the. I probably put somebody in the C block by accident, or the B block by accident. Well, I know this guy. It's definitely in the C block. Zack Sabre Jr. I gotta say, some people hate his style. Some people like his style. I like his style because it's just a change of pace on the cards, and it's always unique to see him wrestle. I like the stuff he did with Tom Lawler, even though they weren't in the same block than the tag matches. But Zach pretty much, I can't say he ran C block. He did run C block for most of the tournament. He was the guy to beat in that block, and a lot of big wins. The comedy match with Evil was just fantastic. So performance wise, that 45-second match was hilarious, and he lost in almost as short a time, under 3 minutes, to Naito in the finals of the C block night. So. I would go with A tier. It seems like some of you guys agree. So A, I won't vote because kind of biased against his style, says Texan. Paula says A for Zed. The Beam says Zach A. Got a lot of A's. One S tier from Good Lucas thing. A's. So it looks like Zach's in A tier. So we're going to put Zach in A tier. Zack Sabre Jr. There we go. Let's go over here. Let's go to the guy he faced off with in C block, Tetsuya Naito. What I thought was going to be the story of the C block in this tournament and the story of the tournament. He started out 2 big losses, lost to Tanahashi, lost to Goto. He was 0-2. Everybody was doom and gloom, and I was like, let me look at this block. They're going to have Naito do a come from behind victory, and technically he did. He did come from all the way from an 0-2 start all the way back and won the block at the end. Him teasing and taunting Zack Sabre Jr., causing Zack to have a temper tantrum on the last night. That was hilarious as hell. And the match with Will Ospreay was absolutely fantastic. Although we didn't get what they hyped up as Naito going for his last shot at Wrestle Kingdom, again, keep in mind, Okada did say if he had to defend the contract against someone, he would want it to be Naito. So I will put Naito... I would put him A tier, but I'm going to see what you guys say about that. Let's see. We got Naito is A or S. A. S for Naito. A says David Duvall. Thank you for joining. B for Naito says Renee. Ron says A out of respect. Good Lucas Thing says A or B. Wanting to win so much A. So it looks like Naito is an A tier too as well. So let's go here. See you Naito in A tiers. And Hiroshi Tanahashi. This is a quirky one. Because Tanahashi, the match with Evil was funny. It was the best house of, I should say. Let me turn that back on. Put my face back on screen. There we go. The House of Torture match. That was the best House of Torture match we had in the tournament. The Goto match was really good. And the Kenta match was really good too. Okay, so Tanahashi had usually good matches. It just he really didn't stand out to me. So I'd probably put him in B. I'll see what you guys are thinking here. Giant Sequoia says A. Cruz says S. Tana was B. He was solid B. Tanahashi B, maybe A, B. C tier says David Duvall. A for the ace. Good Lucas thing. Cruz says B. So it looks like it's mostly B's. C for Tanahashi says Scotty Boy. So let's do the B. We're going to go for B for Tana. Hiroshi Tanahashi there in the B. Hiroki Goto. Goto, I will say, for me, I would put Goto in A tier because it has been a long time since I cared about Hiroki Goto's matches. And in this tournament, the way he fought his butt off, the match with Tana when he got his jaw, or I guess it was his lip busted or a jaw or tooth or something, he's gushing blood out of his mouth. He's still fighting through it. He can barely stand. His legs are wobbly on him. That was a standout performance. Great matches all around for Goto this year. I can't think of too many bad matches he had. I personally would say A tier for Goto this year. He really stepped it up for the first time in a long time. I think really since he made the finals against Omega back in 2016. Goto A. I see B's and A's for Goto. A for Goto. Goto A. A+++. Goto is A. He was crazy. Definitely A from Scotty Boy. David Duvall says A tier. Ron says a great year for him. Paulo says he beat Naito since forever. A tier. Okay. That's true. So Hiroki Goto in the A tier this year. Really stepping it up. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. No. I can't even look at it straight. Remember when we used to like evil? Everything is evil. You are evil. Everything is evil. But no. No, we have House of Torture evil for 2.5 years now, and God, I wish he would just go away. But I'm already seeing the votes. Evil, what can we say? He had one good House of Torture match, the Tanahashi one where they knocked out all the refs. That was at least entertaining. Most of it was just terrible. And the fact that he took Goto out of in the final night, that kind of pissed me off too. So, I mean, I'd be F tier for for Evil. But let's see. Oh God. We got, somebody, Texas being funny with the S tier. Morris Brown says D, 10 says F, Liquid Snake says D, Iron says S, G, Giant Sequoia, G's not even on there, man. F, D, Lord Jesus, D, F, D, B for Evil, says Renee. E for Evil, that would be good. C, his match was decent, still a finish. Scotty Boy says F, D, B. Good Lucas thing says, I know I'm in the minority, but I really enjoyed his tournament, A or B. Okay. Christian's an F. F is too high. What do you even do to fix his booking? D, somebody say Evil F. Okay, you know where he's going in F. I'm sorry. Evil. F tier. Can't help you, man. Somebody's got to be in the F tier. Might as well be him. Aaron Henare. That's a curious one. Henare, outside, I mean, he beat Tanahashi the first night. Didn't win anything else. Solid performer. I would like to see him in a G1 again to see what he can do, but it's kind of the thing with Henare. Solid performer, but nothing like spectacular, nothing stand out. He's just a good, solid, I hate the term good hand, but he's just a good, solid hand. I mean, C tier, D tier maybe for Henare. Just again, nothing really stand out this year for Henare. Like Mara said, he was okay. C tier, C tier, C tier. D maybe E. Iron says D. Ron says C. D or C. Let's see a couple more in here. It's like Henare was the weakest of the block, but C was stacked. He was okay. C for sure. It's almost like a C. I think it's a C. C, a high D, C probably here for Aaron Henare because I can't think he was as bad as Juice. So Aaron Henare, solid, just C block though. The man, one of my favorites, Tama Tonga, finally getting a singles push in New Japan. Dude's been around for a long time. Tag team wrestler for the longest time. People have been wanting him to go singles for a long time, said he could be a big star. We're seeing that starting now. Big win over Jay White, obviously. He was quietly, too, racking up the wins because everybody was focused on Jay White going undefeated, but nobody noticed that at the same time, Tama Tonga had won all of his matches except for the one with Ishii. In the end, he winds up winning the B block and knocking Jay White out, which character-wise must have felt good for the character. Went on to the playoffs And had a decent match with Okada. Not a match of the year, but a decent match with Okada. And this is Tama Tonga getting his feet wet in the upper mid card. So for me, I would say A tier. Definitely for Tama Tonga. But let's see. Could be S, says the Beam. A tier. Dex Baker said, yeah. He fought his butt off. Thomas A or S, A plus, S. A couple S's, A's and S's. S. A tier. I'm gonna let the next couple ones determine it. See if it's A tier or S tier. B for Tama says good. Lucas Thing. Terry Hall says A. So we'll put him in A. A lot of A's. A lot of A's here. Tama Tonga, A tier. G1 Climax 32. I can't call him Burface anymore, but Taichi. Had a banger with, I know a lot of people did not watch the match he had with Jay White, but that was a good match. That was probably one of Taichi's best matches. I love the story they told during the match with Gedo and Jay White just viciously going after Mio Abe, and then Taichi just triggered him. He was like, nope, no more games. You put your hand on my woman. I ain't messing with you no more. And beat the tar out of Jay White. Still lost the match, but he beat the tar out of him. I don't know. Some performances were good. Some performances were bad. I would put him in B or C tier. I see B's. Some people say the same thing. Paulo says C or B. S, Giant says Giant Sequoia. Easy C tier for 10. B for Taichi. C tier B. Him and Tama was fun. That was a fun match with him and Tama. A. Taichi was just okay. S, A for Taichi. It was all over the place for Taichi. C, B or C preferred his tournament last year. Okay, I guess Taichi, we put Taichi in the B tier. I guess we put him in B as far as taking the average, what everybody's saying. And I think that's about right. You know, with Phantasmo, Tana, Shingo, Yujiro, you guys put Yujiro in B tier. I think you guys are just trolling me putting Yujiro in B tier. But it's all good. Oh, boy. Oh, I forgot about you. So I even forgot he was in the tournament. Sonata. You know, there's always going to be somebody who's going to get lost in the shuffle, and that's Sonata. It tends to be Sonata more often than not. And while he had some couple good matches, again, nothing really stand out, nothing really surprising. He didn't face Zack this year, so we didn't get the funny Zack Sabre Jr. match with Sonata. He lost some big matches and looked dejected over it. A lot of people said that maybe he should leave New Japan and go elsewhere. I just don't know what's going on with Sonata. And, you know, a couple years ago, you know, we all remember he was in the finals with Kota Ibushi, and then that match was very long and very boring. So I don't know if that was, you know, they gave him that shot and said, we'll see again in the future. I see a lot of C's. Sonata F, he's being lost in the shuffle, says the Beam. B plus player, if Trips could call Sonata. I don't want to see Sonata done. I don't know. WWE still has a hard time with Japanese wrestlers. Even Shinsuke, I'm still not, I don't know about going to WWE. Sonata could be C tier. I think C maybe. But, you know, everybody, they surprised me before. Sonata and WWE, maybe that'll work. C. So it looks like everybody's saying C. So Sonata, you're going C tier. Most people are saying C tier, so we'll get C tier for Sonata. All right. The catalyst of pro wrestling, the Switchblade, the last rock and roller, the leader of Bullet Club, Jay White. Guy ran away with the B block. We were calling it the J block for the longest time. Undefeated all the way up until the last. OBS is connected. All right. If you guys can't hear me, or if you guys can hear me, let me know. If you guys can't hear me, then I don't know. Looks like a lot of people are saying S tier for the Switchblade. A, S tier. Unfortunately, it says S stock. Jay White, I would say A tier. He did every match perfectly. Love the baby crane. I love the baby crane. Rocking it like a baby. Rocking it like a baby. I think, you know, all right, the Beam says I'm good. All right, cool. Jay White, the match, like I said, the Tai Chi match was great. The Great Khan match, I was shocked at how good that was. So, yeah, I'm going to go S tier. I'll go S tier for Jay White. I'll do that. He's definitely proven that he is the guy that they said he was a couple years ago. Oh, there's Ishii. That's what happened. Ishii, he was in here twice. That's what happened. All right. Bye, Ishii. The Great Okan. Speaking of the devil. United Empire. Great Okan, not a great tournament. He had a better tournament the year before. The Jay White match was great. And I can't think of much else for the Great Okan in the tournament. Outside, he's very popular with a lot of fans. He's unpopular with a lot of other fans. And he's a national hero. So maybe that counts for him being somewhere. I put Great Okan in C or D tier. Again, I don't think too much was going for the Great Okan here. So let's see. Wow. Oh, wow. The S plus. Let's see. A. S. Oh, that's for J. Okay, so C for Great Okan. Okan is an A. S. C. 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 Put him next to Juice. Let's see. I think it's crazy that he's gotten over. Yeah, Dex is like, he saved that little girl. And when I went to the DC show that New Japan had, man, there were a lot. He got a big pop when he came out. People loved him over here. So, I don't know. So, it looks like C tier is going to be for the Great Okan. So, let's put him down here. There we go. Chase Owens. Chase Owens is... I like Chase this year. I was, he got in last year. A lot of people moaned and groaned, especially when he beat Tanahashi. But I think he kind of proved, for me, he proved that, we always knew he was a great wrestler. His match with Ishii, I do remember that one. That was a standout match, even though the match didn't mean anything because they were both eliminated at the time, and somehow they wound up in a semi-main event match as two guys who were already eliminated. But whatever, the match was good. Had a lot of solid performances. The Jay White match, the whole thing with them trying to pay him off and not having the money, that was pretty funny too. So I don't know. You guys, let me know what you think about that. Do you think that we should have good old Chase Owens in? I'm off again. There we go. On. There we go. Chase Owens should be in. I see a lot of C's. D for tier for Chase Owens. C or B. B for Chase. B. C. C. E if not D. C. 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 Okay, so looks like most of you are thinking Chase Owens is probably C. Looks like C. He's just not there yet. B for being funny on commentary. Yes, his commentary is funny. And for digging into Chris Charlton's. Chris Charlton said he had no honor. Chase apparently really did not like that. But they're buddies now. But that was a little funny thing. But Chase was good on commentary. All right, I'm going to go D for Owens. All right, so it looks like the average seems to be C. So I'm going to stick Chase in the C tier here. So C tier here for Chase Owens. Ooh, usually very entertaining. Toru Yano. His haha stuff did not work in the Monster Black. Poor Yano did not want to be in it. He was like the odd man out of the whole thing. It's like, it's just a joke to him that Yano's in this block with all these monsters, along with Tom Lawler and one of the best wrestlers in the world, Kazuchika Okada. He beat JONAH by countout. I think he beat somebody else by countout too. I can't remember. But Toru Yano didn't do much this year in the tournament. None of his haha really worked except for JONAH, and that was the first night. But he was entertaining, as he always is. But I think the Yano shtick, as far as the G1 is concerned, as far as him being a threat and a spoiler, well, I'll talk about this with somebody else as far as their tournament, maybe coming to the last couple of years of that being a thing. Let's see. Yano was hit or miss. Yeah. Says good Lucas thing. He was C. Knock says B. Yano was okay. C. E, the shtick doesn't work for me with no cheating. C for tier for Yano. D, C, E, C tier for Yano. See a couple more. Looking like taking the average here, he might be D for Yano. I don't know. Renee says C for Yano, not one of his funnier years, but his stuff for Filthy Tom was good, fun, and the Okada match was good. Yeah, that Tom Lawler match where he had the Sister Act CDs, and then he gave Tom Lawler the YTR CD and then our DVD, and Tom Lawler opens it up and the DVD's empty. That was pretty funny. Evil's gonna, oh God, no, I would rather have Yano than Evil. I think Yano's gonna go D tier. It just wasn't a good yuck year for Yano. Filthy one, Filthy Tom Lawler. Well, the guy. At first, I was worried because it seemed like the only thing that was going for him was the So the clap got him over with the Japanese fans. They loved clapping along with him. But I think the first half of the tournament, I wasn't impressed. The second half of the tournament, I was really impressed with Tom Lawler. The match for Okada was really skilled match. Some of the other guys he went up against, the Jeff Cobb match, I was surprised at how well he handled himself against Jeff Cobb. So Tom Lawler, I said I was more intrigued by this tag stuff he was doing when he would tag against Zack Sabre Jr., and that's a clear match that I think they're probably going to be booking for the fall. Those two have really good chemistry against each other. But we'll see. I don't know. I would say Tom Lawler for me would be in a B, which seems to be SC Giant Sequoia's B, A+ for Paula. Texans a B. He was fine. B for Filthy. B. C. B. C. A+ says Paula O'Keefe. Tom Lawler is solid B. Tom gets a B. B says Christian. All right, so looks like Tom Lawler's in the B. B tier here for Filthy Tom Lawler, former strong champion. Well, I think this one's obvious. I don't know. Some of you might hate this. Kazuchika Okada, he won the tournament, so I mean probably S tier. But we're not just going on who wins as far as the storyline, but performances in the show. Okada, the first half of the tournament, wasn't the Okada that I'm used to. But the last three matches, he did great against Tama Tonga. The match of obviously in the finals with Will Ospreay was fantastic. The Lance Archer match, which was probably more Archer than Okada, but Okada it takes two to tango. So that Archer match was really, really good. And the shocking Jonah match I enjoyed. So I would go S tier for Okada. Renee says greatest of all time. S, S, A, S, 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 B. Yeah, I think this is kind of all right. So Okada is obviously S tier. We're not even gonna go any further with it. It's Okada. We're gonna put him in S tier. The Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer. Lance is hard because some of his matches just weren't not entertaining, but then the Okada match kind of was like a get another breakout match for him, so that kind of lifts him up a little bit. I would have put him C tier before that Okada match, but I'm personally thinking B tier for Lance Archer. That Okada match at the end, that was the best Lance Archer match I've seen, and watching the guy for 9 years now. I've been watching him in all the different places he's been. B tier says a lot of people. David Duvall says C. Jen Marshall says A or B fits for me. Scotty Boy says C. The Beam says Archer A. He's really over with the NJPW crowd. Texans so S. B A. B B. Wow, this is hard. A lot of B. What is a lot of B's? A B B B B A. C. A lot of B's. Couple C's. B. C tier B. Okay, I guess we're gonna go. And he had Foley's best match. All right, so we're gonna do B tier. It looks like that's gonna be it for the Murder Hawk for most of the feedback here. So Murder Hawk Monsters in B tier. We got the Mighty, who did not kneel at all. JONAH, another big standout, first time in a G1. And obviously the big thing was his victory over Kazuchika, however you want to pronounce it. I guess I'll go over Kazuchika. I always say Kazuchika, but whatever. His big victory over Okada, the giant splash. The splash heard around Japan. The largest vocal reaction of a New Japan crowd in 2.5 years. I felt like old times. It is so amazing how much it is missing. How much their gasp and oohs and ahs add to the show. And having not heard it for 2.5 years, just for that, I have to thank JONAH for doing something that forced them to react. Jay White can't do it. He can't get them to do it. Nope, they're not doing that. But JONAH goes to the top rope and squashes Okada like a bug, and they don't care about any COVID protocols. So for that, cool enough. I would put JONAH in A tier for me, but let's see what you guys have to say here. Let's see. S tier for Scotty. Monster A. The Mighty do not kneel. JONAH over with the crowd, says Scotty Boy. Jesus says only OGs remember JONAH was in Noah as a part of TMDK. A for JONAH. Primarily just for Okada match. A tier, he's special. A. So it looks like there's one S. So it looks like JONAH is A tier. I think it's about right. A tier for JONAH. The top dog. Ooh, this is a hard one. Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb, man, last year was the monster last year. Kind of, and it was like that transition match with JONAH was JONAH taking Jeff Cobb's spot, because last year was an undefeated Jeff Cobb who finally fell to Okada, and this year JONAH, I think he split. He was 6-6, 6 wins, 6 points, I should say, 3 wins, 3 losses. As after the JONAH match, he like lost all his steam. He had a funny match with Yano where he dressed up as Yano, and then Yano tried to sneak through the crowd because Yano said he wasn't going to show up for the match, and then they were going to count him out, and then Yano tried to sneak a victory in from the behind. But Cobb, I would love to see more of him in JONAH. That was a good big man match. They did things, like I said, I did not think those guys would be able to pull off a superplex as big as they are, and they pulled it off. That thing was awesome. So, but as far as Cobb, I'd put him C tier. Just because he was so high last year that he kind of fell off this year. But again, let's see. Ooh, I am in the minority on that one. A lot of A's here. Let's see. B tier for Jeff Cobb, says Jeremy Cantillano. Jesus says C tier. The Beam says Cobb B. He did really well in the Monster Block. B for Cobb. A, should have been more impact. A. B. A. Him and JONAH are fantastic. A. Wow. So it's between a B and an A. I'm gonna go with what you guys say. Let me count these up. How many? Oh. Okay, well, I guess this is a shocker. Jeff Cobb's going in an A because I think there's more A's than B's. By slightly. From my count here. My unofficial count. Jeff Cobb's in A tier. All right, guys. Last but not least. The man. The myth. Might be on his last couple years in the G1 2 himself. Bad Luck Fale. One of the OGs of Bullet Club. I can't think of too much. I mean, Fale got a count-out win over Lance Archer. He kind of looked a little slow in the JONAH match on the last night. I thought a lot of people were looking forward to that one. Tom Lawler match, it was okay. Okada match wasn't, I don't know, C or D tier for Bad Luck Fale. I think Fale is just, he's more focused on other things. It doesn't look like he really wants to be like main event kind of guy. He doesn't really care about it. He's just there to do business, which is perfectly fine if that's where he's at. But I can't say, I've seen a lot of better G1s out of Bad Luck Fale when he, like I said with Yano, was the big spoiler. If you ran into Fale, you might have been winning the tournament in years past, and you run into Fale, he would wipe you out because he usually would win about 6 or 7 matches in the tournament, even though he never won a block or went to the finals. But see a lot of D's for Fale. E. C says David Duvall. G-Max says D. Jen Marshall says E, F. C, D, E or F. Looks like it's, he's going to, yeah, there we go. It looks like Fale is going to have the lone spot by himself in the E tier. So, there we go. There's all 28 wrestlers from the G1 Climax 32. So from this, it seems like, and this is a kind of a good way to assess how good the tournament was, because there's so many people in the A tier, and people in the B tier, except for Udro, which again I think you guys are just trolling. But outside of that, I'd have to say this does look like that it was a good tournament. It looks like it was a good tournament given the number of people here. So Evil in the F tier, not surprising. Bad Luck Fale alone in the E tier. D tier, probably disappointment, Juice Robinson, and Yano not having the best Yano year. Oh yes, I forgot. Kenta, that's what happened, because I did not get a Kenta. We gotta pre-up my boy Kenta. Hold on. So see if we can pick up a photo. Do you have a photo of Kenta anywhere? Do I have a photo of Kenta? Kenta, where are you? There's no Kenta. Oh no, we gotta find a Kenta photo. Hold on here. Technical difficulties. We're gonna go find a Kenta photo. Kenta. I forgot all about Kenta. I'm sorry, Kenta. I'm sorry. Oh, I did. I did get a Kenta photo, but it doesn't load in this thing, so we're going to have to reload it because it is a WEBM file, or WEBP file, which is so annoying. I'm not using. This is unofficial. I'm trying to find a picture that TV Asahi does not own because I don't want to deal with it. There's a Kenta JPEG. There he is. Okay, I got Kenta. All right. I got a Kenta picture. There he is. All right. Kenta. Little K. Sorry, my guy. I knew I was missing somebody. That Ishii thing messed me up. All right, Kenta. We got one. Kenta. I would put Kenta. I think B tier for me. Kenta did not seem to be way more concerned with selling his book than he was with actually winning the G1. But the match with Tanahashi was damn good. The match with Naito, I liked a lot of what I liked what Kenta did in the latter half of the tournament. The loss to Evil really bothered me though. That or was it Evil? I think it was Evil. Whoever he lost to from House of Torture, that kind of bothered me that he was just okay with it. Okay, so it looks like you guys are saying B. A lot of B's. Yep. All right. So Kenta, B for book for Kenta. Kenta will go into B tier. I absolutely apologize to Kenta for the mistake of not putting his thumbnail here. All right, cool. Juice is D, Yano's D. So we have Tomohiro Ishii in C tier, along with Aaron Hinari, Sonata, the Great Okan, and Chase Owens. And those are all guys, and that seems about right. All those guys, nothing spectacular. Chase did step it up, but solid, but nothing great. B tier. You guys put Yujiro in there. Yujiro Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, El Phantasmo, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Taichi, Tom Lawler, Lance Archer, and Kenta. Yeah, that sounds about right too, because all of those guys had some misses, but they all had like a big, well, except for Yujiro. They all had a match that was like, wow, that you had to watch, good look and say, well, it was only like one or two, but they all were there. A tier, Yoshi-Hashi getting the respect of everybody else. David Finlay in there, definitely agree with that. Zack Sabre Jr., banger for tournament for him. The temper tantrum. Anytime we get to see temper tantrum Zack, I'm happy. Tetsuya Naito, obviously. Hiroki Goto stepping it back up again in the G1s. And, we're out of battery life. Oh, should have charged the battery up. My bad, but you guys don't need to see my face. And we're almost done anyway. So we got Hiroki Goto, who was he was good. He was really good. I love the story about him and his son wanting his son wanting to see him win the G1, so it's all good. Tama Tonga, what can you say? Stepped it up and got himself up in the upper mid card. JONAH, again, another one. What can you say about JONAH? Really came on strong as a dominant force, the kaiju monster in New Japan, taking place of the guy that was next to him here, Jeff Cobb, who I felt wasn't as good this year, but a lot of you guys really liked Jeff Cobb and appreciated him, so we're going to go with Jeff Cobb in the A tier. So let me see, some of you guys are saying stuff here. B. Kenta Naito with the book was hilarious. That was funny. You should do this before the G1 next year and compare it to what happens at the end to see if you are surprised by anyone, says Bean. That's a good idea. David Duvall says, feel bad for Evil. Scotty Boy says, Yujiro should be with Evil. Marius Brown says, oh no. Kenta hacked the camera feed. Yeah, Kenta hacked my camera feed. Is like, not going to put me in? Guess what? You get no pictures. Goto and JONAH MVPs. Indie tier production here, I see. Yes, it is. JK, yes, that's fine. I don't normally do live streams, and I'm using my SLR camera, which I just recorded like 3 videos today, so the battery is low, and I didn't think about charging it before I did this, because I didn't know how long this video was going to be. But Jesus A says, I wish House of Torture went to Noah. They might get kicked out there sooner than later. S tier, Will Ospreay, Jay White, and Kazuchika Okada. I think that's appropriate. All of those guys had fantastic bang out tournaments. Jay White really stepping into his own as a main event guy that can have a good match with almost anybody. Again, Taichi match, the Okan match. If you guys had skipped over those ones, go watch those. Those are surprisingly good matches and really opened my eyes up to Jay White. As I've said many times, he reminds me of a 1999, 2000, 2001 Triple H, when Triple H was, I think, at the best point, the peak of his career as a heel. That's Jay White right now, and maybe even a little better because of the style that Jay White has to wrestle with these guys. Ospreay, what can you say? He's the Billy Goat. He is. I think the G1. If you didn't already think Will Ospreay was the best wrestler in the world this year, I think the G1 just solidified that. I mean, there's arguments. Obviously, everybody has their favorites. I think the consensus, as far as I'm concerned, right now, it was close with a couple other guys in the business, but right now, for me, unless something changes in the last 4 months of this year, Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world right now. And Kazuchika Okada, the standard bearer, being the modern day Inoki, as he wants to be. I think Okada was good. I can't complain too much about what he was doing. I don't have a big gripe against him winning. I would have preferred it be Naito or Ospreay, but who knows? It is what it is. But let me read a couple more comments from some of you guys here. Indie Wrestling Classic says Kenta was my first choice to win the G1. Scotty Boy says, yeah, he can have a fantastic main event matches. Paul O'Keefe says, yeah, Yaki Naito deserves it. Yeah. Well, Naito still might get it. We got to hold out on that. Jesus A, I should say, says, I wish we got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Oh, God, I do wish. Can you imagine Zack Sabre Jr. versus Jay White? It's still a dream match. Yeah, we got to get that someday. Ospreay will win the G1. It is written in stone, man. He definitely will. Yeah, I would agree that shut your mouth. And if you saw what Okada was mouthing to Ospreay at the end of the match, he was said because Ospreay was dejected. He was saying to Ospreay, "You'll beat me soon. You'll beat me soon." So Okada knows it. It's coming. It's coming. Gato's long-term booking sometimes can be a little bit too long-term for some of us Western fans. Ospreay is the best now, says Texan. David Duvall says Jay White had fun post-match segments. The 2J show was another highlight of the tournament. That was pretty funny. And him just dropping. I think he did nothing but drop F-bombs when he lost to Tama Tonga, didn't he? He just said F over and over again. Just dropped an F-bomb over and over and over again. That was hilarious. Yeah, so we're good here. We're good here with all this good stuff. And let's see, a couple more things here for some of you guys. What are your thoughts on the Great Okan teaming with the Great Muta at Noah? For Muta's final match, that'd be kind of cool. I would rather see the Great Yuta team with the Great Muta. That would be cool sometime. Thanks for doing this. It was fun. Thank you, Ron, for checking it out. Rated 6 years for Naito to overcome Okada, and we still need a full roll call. Yes, we do. Shut your mouth. I used to not like Jay White, but the last couple of years he's grown on. Yeah, it's the same thing, Texan. Jay White has definitely grown on me. The 2J show was entertaining. Yes, it was. Thank you guys for checking this out. The tier list. I'm going to think about some more. This was actually kind of fun. I might do some more of these in the future. I'm not sure for what. Maybe we'll do it on matches for pay-per-views. Because that would be something different that everybody else on YouTube doesn't do. Everybody else does reviews and live stream reviews. I'd rather do something like this. Maybe take the matches and do a tier list for matches on pay-per-views. I'll think about it. We'll see what we can do this for. But this was definitely a lot of fun. Hi, Alexis. Nice to meet you. Sorry you missed the tier list, but you can see the results here. Yeah, it was a good time. I will be back. As I said, I was recording a bunch of videos today because I had to catch up because I had a lot of stuff to do during the week. So I had not talked about the CM Punk thing with Adam Page yet on the channel. Definitely got to talk about that. Definitely got to talk about NXT Europe. Definitely got to talk about the change in tide. WWE, it's kind of swinging back to WWE now, and AEW is now on the decline. And have we already reached that point where we were in the Monday Night Wars when WCW was about to go out of business? Are we getting to that point with AEW? Is it 1999 for AEW already? As it was for WCW? I don't know. But we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff and some of the other news coming out of the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment, including me trying to track down French wrestling since Tom Lawler and Kevin Kelly mentioned it during the G1. And I didn't even know there was French wrestling. So I've been trying to track that down and watch some of it. So Thank you guys for checking out. Thanks, Scotty Boy, Texan, Morris, everybody who's been in the chat. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. And be sure to share this video on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you talk about pro wrestling and sports entertainment. Until next time, check out my channel. I'm also on the gaming channel as well. I will, Scotty Boy, continue. And oh, yes. And by the way, thank you for reminding me about your gift. I have to send it out. But we will be continuing Metal Gear Solid on the gaming channel. So if you guys want to check out my live gaming streams, which are kind of like this, but with games, check it out on the Rant Review Gaming.